Now, new research out has found fewer students are studying languages now than in the 1930s, and educators are calling for a solution. The report, called Language Learning for New Zealand's Future, says second language learning should be a core requirement for students from years 7 to 10. 11 to 15, I do believe, years old. President of the New Zealand Association of Language Teachers, Juliet Kennedy, says it's important that Kiwi students learn another language, including heritage languages that are spoken in our communities, along with world languages. And she joins me now. Good afternoon, Juliet.
Kia ora, Leah. Yeah, thank you.
Lovely to have you on the show now. Kiwi kids are learning languages, fewer Kiwi kids, than back in the 30s. Why do you think that is?
Well, it's quite complex. Why? I think generally the decline has come around because partly it's not well understood the amazing benefits of learning a language, and also when it's not compulsory, kids don't tend to do it, and there's not sort of a push from up top, from government and school leadership to do it. And so I think slowly it's become something that isn't being studied and taken up as much.
Yeah, I remember taking French at school, but I only did like a term and I can't remember much of it, Juliet, to be honest. But I think maybe what you're talking about too is maybe because parents and kids in schools maybe don't see the value in it anymore like we did decades ago.
Yes, and there's a lot more choice out there. So back in the 1930s, there would have been a much smaller choice of what you could study. But the truth is that when you do study a language for a prolonged amount of time, not just a term or a year, but actually at least for 4 years, you have so many great benefits. It certainly makes you smarter, and it's great also at community levels for building identity and belonging and bridges between cultures, and also at an economic level, it makes us much more competitive on the overseas sort of global scale. So
yes,
yeah.
All right, so we're talking about making second language compulsory for years 7 to 10. Should we be looking at a younger age? I mean, research shows that kids pick up and retain new languages more easily when they're younger.
Yes, so that's an excellent question, and my personal view is that we should actually be starting at year 1 and going right the way through to year 11, and this is done in so many countries overseas. It's totally normal in Europe. It's expected that you come out bilingual or trilingual, but in Australia and Canada, not in every state, but certainly in Victoria and some other states, it's actually compulsory that whole way through. Singapore. So yes, I think that we definitely should be going from year 1, and I think all the way through to year 11. But there is these actual recommendations that have been put out have been designed to be implemented immediately. And so because our curriculum has never been set up well for this, we do have a great workforce that could do it from years 7 to 10 now. But I'd say to get this greater goal of year 1 to year 11, that would have to take a bit longer to actually develop the teachers and the workforce there. But,
that's going to be one of my questions. I thought that, there could be a bit of a problem here with not enough teachers or resources to make this compulsory learning work across the country.
Yes. Well, that's also an excellent question. So I think the teachers and the resources are actually out there. What's happened is because there has been a decline, a lot of language teachers who are a fabulous workforce have been sort of pushed into teaching other subjects like anything really, social studies, maths, English, all sorts of things. So there are actually quite a lot of language teachers out there that are teaching things that are not what they were trained for. But I also think we need to work creatively. So certainly in the larger centres, not just the big cities, but other regional centres, I think that there would be a great workforce of high school teachers that could go out and teach in intermediate schools. And so kind of working in a hub way where you have the specialist teacher going out into the intermediate schools. And I think that would have a fabulous flow on actually too when the feeder intermediate schools go into the high school. I think we need to work creatively. Yeah,
okay. You mentioned too that, and I agree with you, I think it's such a wonderful thing to learn another language. It expands your mind. And you said that with kids too. You see if they master another language, it does help them even probably learning, not even another language, but just helps them with learning.
Oh, 100%. So neuroscientists and neuroscience as a field has very, very, very strong evidence that when you learn a language properly, and I'm not talking like a taster course for half an hour a term, half an hour a week per term, I'm talking about properly learning it. It definitely makes you smarter across all of the sort of learning areas. It makes you, really hones your memory and recall. It's an excellent thing to do as you get older to keep your memory going and your brain going, but it's also, there are actually skills and patterns of thinking that transfer readily to math, science and other subjects. So 100% this is known in the field out there.
Now, if this was to come to fruition, Juliet, could the kids pick what language they want to learn, or will all the kids have to learn the same language if it's to become compulsory?
That is another excellent question, and I think this is where schools and communities would have to work closely together. I think there would have to be some hard decisions made, and it would be impossible to provide classes for every single language that's offered in our curriculum at the moment. I think I do think we need to really look after our taonga, our Indigenous languages and our official languages. So I think that Te Reo Māori and New Zealand Sign Languages are really important. But I think the school needs to work with who's in the community